Hello, we have arrived at the feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That would be on December 31st, the Sunday. And here the Gospel would emphasize Joseph and Mary bringing Jesus to Jerusalem to offer Jesus up to God the Father. And here would emphasize them as a family, Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. Holy Feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. First we come to the first reading. The word and the first reading about Abraham. And the word of the Lord came to Abram before his name was changed to Abraham in a vision, saying, "Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. I will make your reward very great." But Abram said, O Lord God, what good will your gifts be if I keep on being childless and have as many as my heir, the steward of my house, Eliezer? Abram continued, "See, you have given me no offspring, and so one of my servants will be my heir." So Abraham was somewhat complaining that he was childless. Then the word of the Lord came to him, "No, that one shall not be your heir. Your own issue, that means your own child, shall be your heir." The Lord took Abram outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if you can. Just so," he added, "shall your descendants be." So God was telling Abraham that his descendants will be countless, will be many, many, many. Abram put his faith in the Lord. So Abraham believed God, who credited it to him as an act of righteousness. His faith in God was his act of righteousness. So God emphasized his faith in him. The Lord took note of Sarah, the wife of Abraham. As he had said he would, he did for her as he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time that God had stated. Abraham gave the name Isaac to this son of his, whom Sarah bore him. So finally Abraham had a child from an old wife, and he himself also being very old. So it was a gift from God. Then we come to the second, that was the first reading. Then we come to the second reading of the letter to the Hebrews. And here to this community, the apostle said, "Brothers and sisters, by faith Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was to receive as an inheritance. He went out not knowing where he was to go. By faith," notes the emphasis on faith. "By faith he received power to generate, even though he was past the normal age," that he was very old, "and Sarah herself was sterile. For he thought that the one who had made the promise was trustworthy." That means God was trustworthy and he had faith in God. So it was that here came forth from one man himself, if as good as dead, that means old, so old that he could not have a son. He could not have a son. He's too old. But God promised him that he would have descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sands on the seashore. By faith, remember the faith, by faith Abraham then, when put to the test, offered up Isaac. What does this mean? It means that Isaac was to be Abraham's descendant, and God told Abraham that only through Isaac would he have descendants, no other children, only through Isaac. But here God wanted him to offer up Isaac. That means offer him as an offering. And and he who had received the promises was ready to offer his only son, of whom it was said, through Isaac descendants shall bear your name. What is the point here? The point here is that if he offered up Isaac, Isaac would no more be there. So how could he have descendants through Isaac? And then Abraham reasoned that God was able to raise even from the dead. So his faith was that God, even if Isaac was dead, God could raise him up from the dead. This was very special, very special faith. And because of this faith, he received Isaac back as a symbol. That means when Abraham was about to offer Isaac up, God told him, no, you don't need to do that. And so he did not die. So Isaac did not die. And he received Isaac back as a symbol. So that is the second reading. Then so we come to the Gospels here. When the days were completed that means Jesus was born. And after a certain amount of time, it was the custom law of Moses to offer up the child to God. And so when the days were completed for their purification, that means to offer Jesus up to God, according to the law of Moses, they took him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. To present him to the Lord. When they had fulfilled all the prescriptions of the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. The child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. So Jesus here, he grew up strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God the Father was upon him. So here we come to Jesus growing up in a family. And so today would be the feast day of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. This would symbolize the family. This would symbolize offering Jesus up to God the Father. Okay? So, December 31st, this Sunday, it would be the feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and we must emphasize our families and offer our families up to God, and be strong in faith, and believe in God, and follow God, and grow up within God. So we must care for ourselves and our families, and we must care for our faith and offer ourselves and our families to God, and grow up like Jesus, strong in faith and strong in wisdom. Okay, so God bless, Merry Christmas, and tomorrow Happy New Year, okay? God bless.